Angel R desires for us to accept women's. There is more than one player in basketball. However, Chicago Sky just struck her with, the harsh reality is that they didn't simply relocate, a game that they enhanced to the renowned, the first ever WNBA games, are at United Center there, and Caitlin is solely to blame. You might want to turn away, Clark Angel, since this maneuver shouts exactly what you have been refusing, that Angel Reed desires the credit in addition to Caitlin Clark, who feels she is deserving of expanding the women's basketball doubles popularity. The excitement is doubled in the seats, and a complete Caitlin Clark mania is taking over a lot. Whether you like it or not, she is the focal point, and everyone, even your own group, is cashing in. Give it some thought before Caitlin arenas were half when Clark joined the league. Let's be honest, the energy was flat and empty. Actually, it wasn't prime time. Watching as Caitlin enters, and all of a sudden the stadium is full, ticket sales are skyrocketing and ratings are exploding. Teams do more than simply upgrade arenas, where they compete for the opportunity to host her games in Washington, Atlanta, and Chicago, which is now pursuing Caitlin. To Angel Reese and everyone else, Clark magic. Those who are skeptical take some popcorn, and perhaps a tissue, as reality is just Chicago Sky didn't only make a hard hit. As a business move, they loudly sent a message, and evident that Caitlin Clark is more than simply the WNBA's superstar of the future. Currently, the league is being transformed. Stay tuned, as we're going to go into how Caitlin Clark worked alone, shut down the critics, and transformed women's basketball into a spectacle that must be seen. However, before we get to the fun stuff, please take a moment to like this video. Additionally, join to subscribe to the channel. You'll always be informed, crew, with the most recent WNBA news specialist takes and dissections of major maneuvers. Just enjoy this. Don't pass it up. We have all angle covered. Press that button. Subscribe, then let's get started. Pause here to set the scene before let's face it. When Caitlin Clark arrived, the WNBA was doing well, but let's not act as though it was stealing news stories. The number of attendees was approximately 6,600. Arenas were rarely filled during each game, and to be completely honest, there were certain games that felt more akin to intimate gatherings than significant people-attended athletic events. Lazily, scrolling while drinking coffee by looking at the clock on their phones, pondering whether the stove was left on at yes, the house wasn't quite electric, energy was all right, but it wasn't igniting the sports industry. Then Caitlin Clark was abruptly entered by the league burst instead of merely waking up. Stadium began to fill with excitement. Up more quickly than a free donut offer, black stuff flew off the shelves. Friday at your preferred shop and social event. The media almost melted whenever she entered the realm of sports channels. Couldn't stop discussing her fans. Journeyed across the nation to observe her play, as well as your grandmother, who hasn't observed sports since the development of color TV, is now aware of Caitlin's identity. Let's be honest, people, Clark is. Even though Grandma doesn't have cable. Shall we go back to Angel Reese? Angel just caused a stir with that viral interview boldly announcing that there is more than one player in the WNBA, gently making a reference to herself.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Appear assured is wonderful. We applaud it, we admire it, and sports wouldn't be the same, to be honest, without it. But let's move forward, Angel, into actuality for a brief instant, when Chicago's arena has literally doubled. Size exclusively for matches with Caitlin. It's not quite subtle, Clark. It's more like illuminating a Times neon billboard. Caitlin Clark's square status as the show people that you're serious, Angel. Let's consider imagine being so united. Not yet sure of your own star power, observing the man management of your own team publicly state without uttering a word who, the sky is what really draws people in. Honestly thought your assertion wouldn't. Nope. They also upgrade for your matches. Crickets, however, they only extract all Caitlin Clark's pauses to make it glaringly obvious who fans really are waiting in line to see that it's a difficult pill to swallow. But hey, admitting the truth, Ask for your ticket and never hurt somebody. Caitlin, let's talk about the facts immediately. When Clark joined the WNBA, it wasn't simply this previous image was so large that it was seismic. You hardly ever witness WNBA games, Caitlin. News or social media causes meltdowns, however, when Caitlin entered the Indiana Fever's court. Attendance wasn't merely increased, definitely skyrocketed, recalling that thrilling first matchup with the Liberty. More than 177,000 yelling spectators crammed into Gainbridge Fieldhouse is becoming more and more season matchup in a setting that you'd often only encountered. During the NBA Finals or a Taylor Swift performance that sells out, people were going crazy, so to be quite clear, this wasn't a chance for luck or a one-time each and every time Caitlin strikes the fans of hardwood, there's no denying the buzz. Traverse hundreds or perhaps thousands of miles, only to have the opportunity to see her start.
First pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin.
Unfeasible images from almost half court and strike them as if she's not merely playing. She's performing a basketball performance that fans still won't forget anything soon. Unconvinced? Okay, let's discuss teams. Atlanta Dream relocated outside of Indiana. Their matches at the State Farm Arena, the location of the Hawks of the NBA, particularly for when Caitlin Clark visited Washington. Mystics upgraded as well to the Wizards' home, Capital One Arena, only since Caitlin was a member of the visiting squad. If it doesn't shout star power, then I'm not sure. But let's circle returning to Angel Reese and her contingent of haters, of those obstinate souls committed to those that deny reality and maintain that Caitlin isn't Angel, the focal point of the WNBA universe. Let's talk about our hearts for a moment. If Caitlin wasn't the primary attraction, so what precisely is yours? The Chicago Sky team actually doubling their timetable and rearranging, rolling out the red in their seats only for Caitlin's games on the carpet. These significant moves weren't made for you, or another member of the league, in spite of your audacious claims are rather similar to arranging a celebration and informing everyone, it's all about you and only you will discover Beyoncé is the reason why everyone is attending. Chose to stop by.
Caitlin Clark has become a national phenom, and some fans say they went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
Quite embarrassing. The truth is, the denial is becoming Angel. This is kind of funny right now. Your group isn't merely making subtle suggestions. They are essentially yelling from the Caitlin Clark's roofs, or the fans of superstars want to witness them acting otherwise. It's just making things more difficult. Silent. So how much additional proof do we need? Necessity before the haters eventually give up and acknowledge the evident reality. Here's the concerning haters. They thrive on denial, like if it were coffee in the morning. Angel and everyone else find it easy. Additional skeptics to bury their pretending to be Caitlin while heads are in the sandies, not transforming the league. Recognizing her influence would require addressing an unsettling fact that they're being eclipsed by a newcomer who has yet to complete her second season. But consider spending your entire career training, grinding away, and all of a sudden this fresh A-child enters and steals the show. Free pizza vanishes at a faster rate than let's keep the celebration in the college dorm. Numbers don't lie here, and neither sell tickets in the absence of Caitlin Clark. Such a huge pull that you wouldn't notice arenas that are increasing their capacity only to give her the crowds.
What are you most excited to see?
Her playing. She's a good three-point shooter.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
The instead of whispering, numbers are voting fans yelling from the rooftops with their feet, their wallets, and they're stampeding straight ahead right now. On Caitlin Clark's departure, haters looking vacant-eyed at vacant seats and unsold tickets. Let's face it. The detractors in Caitlin's world now are just even Sheila Johnson Mystics pays rent. The league's owner maintains that there are stars that are worthy of notice, and you know she is entirely correct that the WNBA's talent is abundant from top to bottom. There are seasoned veterans on the rise, stars, amazing rookies, and additional talent more difficult than you might imagine. But let's face it, none of these other A's, incredible as they are, players have caused this kind of rapid expansion. There's more to Caitlin Clark than just scoring points. She is receiving a lot of media attention, packing arenas full and creating headlines every day. Let's be honest. KLN is carrying out what decades of outstanding prior to her athletes just couldn't do. She is integrating basketball for women into. It has seldom ever been in conversations before. At coffee shops, dinner tables, at even barbershops have water, coolers. Those who have never seen a single WNBA game are currently frequently watching because Caitlin is just too captivating to miss.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
Just watching her passion in the game, the way she just plays with her.
Refusing her. At this stage, impact is equivalent to denying puppies are adorable, pizza tastes wonderful, or weekends are fantastic. They're not only incorrect, it's very perplexing. And let's not forget about the TV sales. Recall when the WNBA acquired media rights for $2 billion. Yes, $1 billion with a B to put. Putting it in context, that's sufficient money to purchase the lifetimes of everyone in your city, tickets, and have extra change left over. For popcorn, this historic deal fell through due to the league's abrupt decision to improve its marketing strategy overnight. Occurred as a result of broadcasters' sponsorship, and essentially everyone with eyeballs could observe Caitlin Clark approaching from a great distance. Similar like a storm that is forming on the horizon, and believe that I should take cover or get a camera, because this is going to be incredible, including the WNBA. The commissioner herself freely acknowledged that the impact of Caitlin has directly increased both the number of viewers and attendance at previously unheard-of levels. Caitlin Clark did not simply appear ratings, which she essentially founded fans who are never able to reach the stratosphere thought about watching basketball. For women, are increasingly frequently tuning in the hopes to witness her next viral moment.
When she just shoots from half court,
Whether she has an incredible range, making spectacular passes, or just her contagious energy brings ringing. Caitlin is a highlight reel of a single woman, maintaining a fixation on screens. Wherever you are, you've come this far. That must indicate that you're having a great time. The video, so let's have a little. The second time you press the follow button, it's completely free, very easy, and beneficial to us, continue to provide you with amazing material. Particularly if you're a WNBA fan, whether player highlights are highlighted in the game, or our behind-the-scenes footage you're covered, and by doing what you'll never skip a beat in terms of your favorite teams and athletes are available for tap. That come next, okay, let's jump. Chicago Sky's decision to relocate the United Center's Fever games aren't simply clever, it's a business of brilliant proportions.
And for the first time in history, WNBA games will be played in the United Center.
They are aware of Caitlin's star power and accepted it rather than pouting. Similar to Angel Ree and the Sky's haters cleverly turned the attention into profit. Business decision now. Consider if Angel. The pettiness stopped when Reese dropped it. Clinging more tightly to her pride than your little brother is holding the remote control and truly took advantage of this fantastic chance. Imagine this Angel entering the court in front of the United Center, 20,000 yelling admirers who are channeling all of her enthusiasm in creating a memorable performance. For example, a stunning 20-20. A night of rebounding that would leave fans for weeks. She might be sharing headlines take center stage and at last stating those audacious assertions convincing, but she's actually gone. Here, avoiding the spotlight while acting salty, such as a visit to the dentist and Caitlin Clark's theft of all the thunder without exerting any effort. Caitlin is not hoarding anything. Rather, she's just going about her business, naturally. Radiant brighter at midnight than Times Square. The haters are the true problem here. Obstinately, especially Angel Reese declined to come out and disclose the limelight. They're too preoccupied with pouting and hurling shadow rather than grabbing the moment and taking action. The ball's stunning on the court. Angel, why don't you appear in your court and demonstrate that you also merit the attention? Several of the most prominent legends in the history of basketball has been revealed. Openly to recognize Caitlin Clark's Lisa Leslie's star power is among the greatest WNBA players. Ever didn't merely pass Caitlin by. Compliment, she called her outright. A player who is changing the game, the league in its current form, when someone similar to Lisa Leslie, who essentially wrote the playbook for women's greatness, Caitlin is special to you, according to Basketball. Recognize that the excitement is genuine and not just, yes, Lisa Leslie Coach K is the legendary Duke's basketball expert, whose word in basketball is similar to how gospel was abandoned. His method of assigning Caitlin the most he commended her as an outstanding player today. Impact outside of the court, emphasizing her capacity to motivate millions of young girls around the world.
One of the leaders to help millions of young girls realize their dreams, not just in sport,